to the board. Chris Collins, I'm a student at MTHS, and today I'll be talking about my Eagle Scout project proposal. A little bit about me. I am a 16-year resident of Monroe Township. I've attended kindergarten through 11th grade in the district so far. I've been scouting for 6.5 years. Started as a Weeblo Scout in Pack 3. Crossed over into Troop 3 and I've been a Boy Scout for 5.5 years. This year I'm playing lacrosse for MTHS, and I'm also a part of MTHS Ski Club and MTHS History Club. So the proposal project that I will be carrying out is the construction of the new Monroe Township High School baseball team's equipment shed. Size of the shed will be approximately 10 feet by 14 feet. The excavation of ground and placement of a stone base with pressure treated wood on top of stone is needed. The shed will be constructed on top of the pressure treated wood floor. This equipment shed is needed because the current shed is not big enough and is starting to rot. The new shed I will be constructing will be big enough to store all the necessary equipment and tools like L pitching screens, pitching machines, rain tarps, rakes, shovels, and an AED. The goal is to complete the project by the spring of 2024, so when the season starts. These are some images of the shed.
The purple paints I see?
Yeah.
Oh.
So the materials, tools, and supplies, 4 feet by 8 feet sheets of pressure treated plywood, stone, a pre-cut wood shed, cans of paint, shingles for the roof, nails for the shingles, screws, door handles, door hinges, a lockable door hatch. For the volunteers, food, refreshments, garbage bags, paintbrushes, gloves, masks for cutting the wood, safety goggles, sandpaper, and a first aid kit. And then hammers, screwdrivers, a level, tape measures, step ladder, power drill, power saw, tamper for the stone, wheelbarrow, shovel, and a rake. So the estimated costs and fundraising. So for the materials and the shed, it'll be $2,200. For supplies, $180. No money for the tools, so the total would be $2,380. So the baseball team is hiring a company to take down the shed and put the stone and treated and the wood down. So the part that I'm doing is I'm gonna ask for discounts and donations for materials and supplies from local businesses like Lowe's and Home Depot. So to raise the money, I'm gonna make flyers and ask the businesses for a percentage of their profits for a certain day as a donation. I've also been reaching out to friends and family to ask for donations. Safety and logistics. I made arrangements with family, friends, and scouts to transport tools, supplies, and helpers to the site. I will also see if the company can deliver the shed materials to the site. So for the tool use, there's going to be sharp tools when building the shed, such as power tools, hammers, screwdrivers. So all the volunteers are going to have to wear safety goggles, protective clothing, and leather gloves. All the volunteers also have to be aware that there's a ladder involved. Volunteers need to be aware of their surroundings and pay attention to detail when building the shed. And this whole entire process will be done under the supervision of adults. Thank you.
Excellent.
Chris, who came up with this idea?
So the MTHS baseball mom, she reached out, to my troop 3, and, I, decided to take on this project because, I know people on the baseball team.
It's a great idea. Thank you.
I have a question. When are you hoping to get started?
So we need approval from you guys, and then, we need approval from the Monmouth Council. And as soon as they approve it, we're gonna start doing it.
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
Very impressive. It's a large scale project. When I saw 10 by 14, it is definitely well needed. Because I know exactly what it looks like, the shed from being behind the middle school. If I believe correctly, that is where it is, and I know what it looks like for 20 years. Thank you, truly thank you, because it's not only well needed, but it's quite an endeavor, and your presentation skills were excellent.
Thank
You
you.
did a really nice job, and I thank you again for your patience in waiting for us.
And it would
Really
be for a long
appreciate it.
period of time, so a lot of student athletes would be able to use it.
I think this is fantastic.
Yeah. Awesome.
If I may ask a question. This is being built on the site of the old shed,
Yeah,
Mhm.
so the baseball, who's gonna take the old shed out? Did you say that
Yeah,
the,
he's
So we've talked about possibly moving that shed, since it is smaller and it doesn't fit their needs, moving it and being able to use it to store some other supplies that we need. And we don't want to get weathered outside,
repurpose it?
so other sports will be able to use it. I'll have it relocated. I've talked to,
You would bring it closer to this area, or you would just use it in the same area?
probably closer to where the other fields are.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, thank you.
But definitely finding another purpose for it.
It's very small. There's no comparisons to what he's building.
Excellent, thank you so
Really,
much.
well done.
If I-
Great job.
I may take-
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, that's okay. I just want to commend you for coming here and presenting this to us. I think it's fantastic that you see a need within your high school where you're currently going, and that you are working on something to help out your fellow classmates in another sport. Whatever we can do as a board to support that, I think we should.
Well, I know what we could do. I said we make a little board collection and we buy them as pizza.
Oh,
That's what I say we could.
We could donate, I mean, personally, we could.
Absolutely,
not-
personally.
as individual people.
If that's okay with everybody on this board. I think a pizza donation would be great.
yeah,
So you let us know how many pies you need
okay,
and we'll get you the pies.
thank you.
I think
In that,
it's a-
Katie, I made you spend some money.
So whenever you're ready, just shoot me an email. We just schedule it on the district scheduling program.
Okay.
We'll reserve the space with.
Okay,
Fantastic.
thank you.
Very nice. Very well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Good luck.
All right, the second item on the agenda is the varsity baseball field. We had, look, Jerry, go ahead, you.
Actually, Steven's here. He can.
Oh, that's great.
All right, so right over, around Thanksgiving, they started with the project there. Custom landscaping came in. I would like to say that before they even did any of that, Jason Miller and Dave Tassine, who are our fields crew, did a really great job, with edging the field and, prepping it up beforehand. Really kind of setting us in to be in a good position for the spring. In addition to that, custom landscaping came in and started, leveling out the field and working on the area that we spoke about before, the gravel area. They did that, and they also worked a little bit on the fencing for the bullpen. Right now, they've done their part. We are waiting for that material to settle. After the material was put, we did come over and we were able to see that our foot were kind of, digging a little bit. So we did speak with the company. They said that they expect the material, needing some time for it to settle. So, with the changes in temperature and all those types of things. So we're waiting for that to settle. At this moment, we decided not to commit 100% to switching over all of our material. So, if you do, go look at the field, you're gonna notice two different colors. And that's because we have the old material that we used and the new material that's being used right now. We want to really see how it settles before we commit to changing everything 100%. We do have the information of what material they're using and all that kind of stuff. We do need to make that change. But right now, we're kind of just gonna wait, and not committing to that until, we give it a little bit more time to settle, as we get closer to the spring season.
Any questions?
And then it'll be complete though for whatever we go with will be complete for the spring season.
Yes.
There won't be an issue for the
Yes.
field.
Correct, yeah.
And I just have to say, I commend the baseball parents and the entire team and the coaches, because it's been a real big collaboration, including what we just saw, the presentation from the Eagle Scout. That everybody is coming together
And
and,
that's it.
see the need for there and working together to make this happen. I think it's.
So we can,
Yes. I
we're
think
very
it's a great
fortunate to support.
collaboration.
No complaints.
yeah, and thank you, Mr. Ernie.
Okay, the third item on the agenda is the lacrosse rebound wall.
Yes, so we provided the committee members with aerial view showing a location. Talked with Stephen, I got the best location for that. It's the area in between the two tennis courts over there. Currently, there's a portable batting cage set up there that shoots by softball. So the thought is we could move that to another location, still functional for softball, and that would be an ideal location for this. If you saw the area, you saw the green area, which represents the surface, the asphalt surface, and yellow would be the wall in between. You have the option here to do one-sided or two-sided. Two-sided obviously would be better. You could have kids practicing on both sides. It can be used for lacrosse, tennis, handball, all sorts of things. If there's some budget constraints early on, though, you could just build a wall and pave one side and come back to the other side. The suggestion is that you engage the district civil engineer to start design on this. We talked about this previously, and I was actually able to get in touch with them this afternoon. I got a handout, I didn't have it in time.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Uh,
Thank you, Mr. Tate.
Get it posted electronically. If you recall, Edwards Engineering Group is the district's civil engineer of record. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
the design services proposal for them.
Oh, wow, that was fast.
Yeah, that's-
Oh, you can share.
No,
You
you
can share.
Yes, so the design service comes out to about 18,200. That would be the entire project through construction. To get it designed and look at other options for people to donate the services or whatnot, you wouldn't need all of these services here. You'd need 9,700 plus the 3,200, about 12,500, somewhere in that range. To get it designed, permit drawings, engineered calculations, all those kind of things. So once you had something like that, you could then narrow it in on the cost or start to donate services.
So the initial cost from the board would actually be approximately up to $13,000. I'm just kind of,
That's just for the engineering study.
To actually design construction
Design.
documents that you get permits with and have somebody build from.
I apologize, say that one more time, I didn't hear the last thing, the design,
Design documents,
Mhm.
engineered drawings that you could apply for
that you
permits.
could
and actually
apply,
get-
right? So we would be up to the point where we could apply with any other costs if we, perhaps, like we said, we have companies or parents that own companies or that wanted to provide and contribute their services, then the bidding and construction administration, explain that to me.
So you might not need that if somebody was willing to step in.
Right, so that would be the cost if we had to go out to bid.
Right, correct.
Okay, I just want to.
Advertising, legal, all those kind of things.
But if we had people that stepped up, then that's the cost we would pay.
Right.
So up to $13,000 would get us to the point where we would do it right, meet the requirements so that we can go ahead and get the permits to move forward before we could even see if anybody's willing to provide any type of service.
Right.
Mr. Chapama. So to what you're saying, $13,000 is our cost to do the engineering, analysis.
Design, yeah.
On the design on.
To get us to the ability
We
to bid.
have a committed, plan to build this and funding before we approve the 13,000. Because if we spend the 13,000, then we don't have anybody who, we know we don't have the budget to build a wall. As it stands today, have we put it into our budget considerations? Are we looking to be able to fund this small?
That one, I believe, was not.
No, that's not been
No,
a
'cause it's-
conversation yet, from what I remember.
That's correct.
So, this is good to know, but I wouldn't, I would feel like we shouldn't.
I understand you wouldn't want to spend the 13,000 unless we knew that there was some form of funding, however direction we were going in. We could explore, we know we have this.
Yeah.
And rather than move forward with this course, we could wait, spend the next 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know if we have any contacts or there's any, I don't know if anybody is offered or we're in any type of position. If there's any construction or individuals who have children in the district that they would want to provide some of these services.
Do we know what just one side?
Yeah, that's what,
That's a paving and.
That's what this would determine. This would determine what it would cost us to build this wall. This design has to be done
That's-
before any cost could be
Oh.
So it could be
We cannot
50,000.
even get the cost till we put this money.
correct.
Ah.
Because we don't know if the
Right.
soil needs to be filled, we don't know if it needs drainage, we don't know.
But you aren't wrong in what you're saying, because we could spend the 13,000,
And not-
find out, and it's $60,000, we don't have it.
Yeah, outline that in here. So drainage sometimes is an issue when you design over a certain square footage. preliminary, when we talked about it at the previous meeting, I thought we were gonna run into that because we have the pay services of the tennis courts. He indicates in his proposal here that it's below the threshold, therefore the drainage piece would not be involved.
Oh, so that saves money.
That saves a lot.
It saves a lot of money.
And did we compare, or did we ask around with any districts that had the wall as to what it had cost them? I know we talked
believe
about
so.
it.
So I have looked around and I didn't find any schools in the immediate area that have it. I did find, in Barnegat, they did have a reground wall built and donated. Theirs was around $75,000. But I'm assuming again, that's including some of those other costs that, Mr. Tate said that we wouldn't have to necessarily.
Was that a recent?
incur.
I'm
That was in
curious.
That was in 2020.
Okay, that's why I'm asking. So 75,000 in 2020. Wow, that's a lot of money.
And you said that was a parent volunteer, like a volunteer service?
It was donated through their boosters, and I think they had some other volunteers.
But the
yeah.
cost was 75,000.
The cost was approximately 75,000.
Something for us to think about, I guess. We don't have to rush it through, but just something to consider. At least we have.
Yeah, Mr. Tate,
Some
thank you for
motion.
getting it quickly, within hours. Which was good.
Incredible. Okay, number 4 on the agenda is the high school sign. Take,
So the high school sign is currently not working. There were some inquiries into this, so we checked into it. The high school administration, Debbie Van Loo is the secretary here, is the primary person who takes care of the sign. She said for the most part, the sign has been not an issue over the years. They had a problem this summer, believed to be related to a lightning strike or an electrical issue. They brought in a vendor who replaced the logic board and the hub board, cost $1,850. Repair was done, the sign was operational for several months. Appears to be down again. Ms. Van Loo said that the tech staff here at the high school typically is able to troubleshoot the majority of the problems. Not the case here. We've spoken to the same vendor about getting a service call, and they're scheduled for, I believe, the 19th next week to come out and do a review and see what's necessary. If it could be a repair again, or if it's something larger than that. For informational purposes, I inquired with the sign company, what are we looking at to refurbish and replace that? And they said you could be looking in the $50,000 to $65,000 range if you wanted to go with a brand new sign. But it doesn't appear at this time that it does need to be replaced or not, we don't know.
Okay. So on the 19th, we all hope for the best.
we'll have an answer. We'll have a better answer.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
I get home to my kids.
Yes.
Have a good night, be safe. Fifth thing on the agenda is the golf range site renovation update.
Yes, so I shared with everybody the plans for that to show you where we are. We're just about at the point ready to apply for local permits to get that up and running. As we've talked in the past, we plan to be doing the majority of this in-house with our staff. And it would be a multi-phase project in that, as you know, we have staff and special services currently in leased office space at Monroe Commons, which expires on June 30th. Plan is to have the renovation of the building itself, interior done, so we can move those folks in by June 30th. And then handle the site work, which would be the paving, sidewalk entrance, those kind of things, after June 30th, which is our new fiscal year, where we can budget the months for that. The work that we're doing in-house will take care of the budget, the majority of the labor is our district, and then the other components we can do after the fact. So these are the construction documents. Again, we're nearing completion and should be applying for permits in the coming weeks.
It's good news.
Very good. So
So we're right on time, basically, to have this done before the,
renewal of lease.
Renewal.
Our staff, yes, because we don't have to publicly bid this, or it's our guys.
okay.
Mr. Tufano,
Yes.
if I can. So from our initial discussions and this construction plan, there's not been any change in scope or the possible increase in budget of doing this, or has there been?
No, so the layout that we've had from day one, we had Ms. well involved, everything has stayed the same. Looking at the building, I can tell you, we plan on only doing some repairs to the roof, but I can tell you the roof it's older. Ideally, it would benefit to be fully replaced, but we're just gonna do repairs for now. So, we're not turning this thing completely over, but it'll be functional, safe, up to code, all those kind of things.
Whatever's necessary to get us
Mhm.
people.
Yes, in, safe, clean, functional, all those kind of good things.
Very excited.
All good. Sixth item is the PE trailer at the Monroe Township Middle School.
Yes, so again, I also just provided an aerial view, just so you could know the bearings, we have the classroom trailer that's in the front of the school.
This is not bad.
It's the phys ed trailer that's kind of tucked inside, you might not even know that it's there. And the plan is to phase it out.
Yeah.
And so we will remove that at the end of, we're currently under lease through June 30th, annual lease on that. So we're looking to remove that. You won't have a cost savings the initial year because there is a removal fee associated with this. So the money you'll be saving for, your rent. And you also save quite a bit on utilities because they're not very good, efficient buildings. So we'll get that out of there.
Right.
Then from that point forward, it's constant savings.
So part of the plan, as we continue to look at utilizing things we own in space, so just like we're renovating the golf site, we continue to have conversations, myself, Mr. Hagan, and I brought Dr. Higgins from the middle school involved because, utilization of the cardio PE trailer was a necessity because we were so booming in size. Well, we've gone down numbers in the middle school and we've now been able to, and we're looking at projections for next year and the year after, we will be able to accommodate our children appropriately in the spaces that we have for physical education and health. That being said, it gives us an opportunity to get rid of this expense after the first year, to get rid of this expense. And we have, we're very comfortable and we're very pleased, and it also eliminates the movement of children in and out of the building. So it's a safety as well. It's, they are safe and the front trailers are very safe and they do a fabulous job. We have security guards there, but when you can keep your children in one physical house location, why not? So it's a financial savings and we think it's the right thing for the kids. So we're very excited about it.
How much is the yearly cost to lease that?
We're down to about $2,000 a month for the lease cost. I think it's $1,980, and then the utility cost, which
And
is
so 24,000 plus. So the first year, the cost will be a little bit less than that. We talked about it, right? So a little bit less. So you got to spend money to save money. So we're going to spend a little money and we're going to save a little money. And if anybody remembers from many years ago, that was the original trailers
Yes.
years ago where they were located when the high school had trailers. When we moved in, they removed them when I got there. Whatever it was, 12, I guess it's 12 years now, maybe 13. I think 13 is now. 13, 12, 13? That's how it's here?
Yes, 13.
13
going on 14.
Going on 14, oh my goodness.
The cardio trailers are going on 14?
Yeah, no.
No,
This,
that,
no, the trailers were removed. When we moved in there were no trailers, and then we had the conversation moving forward.
Just
Fine.
5 years ago?
Mhm.
And now we
We have the trailers in the front, which are currently still needed. It is a conversation that we will constantly revisit about size and teaming and growth and space. But right now, we do believe that the cardio trailer and the principal's on board. But the front are still right now needed.
and we will do this in the summer of 2024, before the next school year starts,
Correct.
or we're going to do this immediately?
Correct.
Correct. We have them leased through June 30th. So July 1st, they
Okay.
go back.
So we go back.
Thank you.
All right, seventh item is the township server for broadcast.
So this had been brought up previously.
Mhm.
Boris Laddick, the TV teacher here at the high school, is the key person on that, and he has gotten proposals for placing this in the township. Maybe you want to speak about.
Sure. So we were approached, Ms. Kirby and myself, we were at a meeting regarding the shared services agreement, and we were approached by the business administrator, and that this is something that they want, and we are thankful and we are appreciative to the township. They will be paying the cost for the entire server. The server doesn't work. That's basically what it is. It just doesn't work and it needs to be replaced. So they had reached out to us and during the meeting, we said we wanted to bring it up appropriately for the public during BG&T, but prior to bringing it up here, we wanted to do our legwork and our homework. So Mr. Hadlick, working with Mr. Moraldo, has taken the lead to say, yes, we'd like to still keep the server here. We have no problem being the conduit by which the information is shared and running it. He does a fantastic job. And I don't know if Ms. Miller works with him, but he also has students that do internships, which is fantastic because it's that workplace, which is so important for our children. And we're very excited that we want to thank the township. So the township will be paying for the costs for the server, and the server is going to be brand new. And I know that Mr. Moraldo can speak on this because he can speak on the technology part of what we're looking to get and how it's a positive, and it's a wonderful thing for the community. And when we say community, we mean the whole community, our children, our parents, and our non-parents as well. So we're very excited about this.
So thank you. And Mr. Taken handling all the facility sides of things, we were talking more about curricular benefit and how it really would impact our ability to communicate with the public. So when the server went dark, it was the original device that was brought in with the opening of the high school. That server also provided our ability to house content and distribute it to the local TV channels. When the server went down, that ability to do that went down as well. So as our stopgap, while we were already posting those items to our digital platform, which is currently YouTube, we were continuing to operate in that fashion. However, the other avenues and medium for content distribution was not functioning because of the absence of a server. So thank you for the partnership with the town. We are now prepared to reinstate that. The server, we're in the process of identifying what's best for our current needs. Mr. Loddick and his expertise and Mr. Tague and his expertise are going to make the decision that's best for the district. What's nice about this opportunity is that not only will we now be able to push content back out onto those channels, but it'll also give us, if we decide to go with certain products, give us the opportunity to host our own video on demand digitally without needing to use YouTube, which would then give the district a lot more flexibility to be creative, but also to institute some quality control. Currently, we don't have control over some of the aspects of YouTube. But we believe that this would be an opportunity for us to not only enhance our ability to communicate, create, and provide content for the district, assist the municipality with what their needs are, distributing material and content, but also give us an opportunity to leverage new curricular programs to host new content in ways that we haven't done before. We've even talked about bringing back, static shows where that we can communicate directly with the public, like we've done in years past. I believe it was called Chanley Chat.
Chanley Chat.
We like the idea of being able to evolve this portion of, I just made it up right now.
Yeah.
Just,
Works.
this portion of the district, but also, we're really grateful for the partnership with the municipality, and we think that this is a win-win for all.
Yes, very excited. And we can
Zach,
publicly say thank
I
you.
have one question for you. I noticed that on Xfinity, I don't know if Verizon has this, but I noticed Xfinity Cable provides 2 community access channels. One was always our server, and then the other was just always blank. Is there a way you could find out if they would give us both of those channels locally? So that maybe the township stuff could be on one and our school district stuff on the other?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I would
You'd
be
have to
very
reach out to
hesitant to
them.
answer that one without speaking with Mr. Loddick first, and my guess is he's probably got a pretty good answer for that, so I will inquire with that.
Okay.
I'll have to look, because I have Xfinity.
Yeah, if you notice one said it's not available and the other one used to be available, but
And I think, are there 2 local access channels on Verizon? I live in.
I don't have.
Oh, I have Xfinity also.
Xfinity, so.
Yeah, but we'll follow back with Mr. Lack, and he followed up with Mr. Tague and I today about his progress. So, we obviously, if you've met Boris, you know that he's gonna make a decision that is gonna be pretty solid and we can feel pretty good about.
Yes.
So, and I should also mention, it's not just, Ms. Miller does contribute.
Yes, Ms. Miller, I wasn't sure, I wanted to make sure to mention her.
And she's gonna be a big part of some of the other content that we start to develop too, so we're excited. Because there is some benefit on, to our curricular side of things too, that we think we can.
Internships, and once again, children, workplace learning, and we're very excited that we were approached by the town. Once again, we want to, because it's great, the more partnering we can do with them for all one, it's fantastic.
It's my understanding too, is that some products offer us even ways to reach out beyond Xfinity and Verizon onto like Roku apps and things like that. So, we were dealing, what's exciting about this is that we were dealing with a pretty obsolete piece of technology. We were making it work, but we don't, the technology is evolving so quickly.
We were very behind.
Even just looking at Mr. Loddick's notes from before, I mean, these are terms I've never seen before.
So the server, I'm sorry, the server isn't necessarily just to feed to the Comcast channel. The server could be used to
To feed
put out
you.
to other.
Yeah.
Especially some of the newer products. And again, I'd be very, as we get closer to that decision, we could present what the benefits would be. But we're still in a bidding process right now, from what I understand, and a vendor selection process, which we're, obviously working with the town on. And Mr. Loddick, though, is looking at that. But it is my understanding that we would be able to do things to like avoid licensing issues with certain content, like if we're doing a musical. Ads, we could eliminate YouTube ads and then potentially monetize our own efforts in certain ways, which I know is something that we talked about.
The nice.
And then, if you go on YouTube, You know, you can see sometimes like related videos will come up. It could be something we want our kids looking at. Might not be.
Might be something
But
we don't
we
want.
don't control that queue. Well, algorithms do. That's another thing we could limit at. But again, these are some of the things that would potentially be accessible to us.
That never
As-
had been because of the antiquated system that we
Yeah,
had.
if we actualize this. You know, there are other ways to stream digitally that don't require a broadcast server. But it would probably be a walk back from what our community has been used to. And I don't know if we want to go in that
No, I
direction.
agree. So,
If I can just comment really quick, I think this turned out to be a blessing in disguise that that old server did, conk off, and Mr. Flatty brought it to us. Again, to say what you just said and what you just said, thank you to the township for
Yes.
giving us this. I think that day when I was with you, their offer was whatever you need us to do, buy the server or host it. But I think, given what you're saying, our children will benefit from this.
From us
It's
hosting.
just so much better with Mr. Flatty's
whole community.
expertise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
It's-
And we
it's
think
very
our
exciting.
children will, from a curricular perspective, the
How-
community will get it either way, whether they host it or we host it, but if the district keeps it, our children continue with work-based, learning and internships, and they're just, his program is so great. And I think the person that the township was going to put this on is an alumni.
Yes.
Who actually did work with Mr. Gladdick in the past, so it's just full circle.
Full
It's
circle.
nice to hear that.
Yes.
But we have so many children still going through the program
Yes.
who could benefit from, and with the new technology, like you said, it's going to be so much more that we can do with it than we were able to do with the whole server.
And I know it's not a
Thank
curriculum
you,
meeting,
everybody.
but one of the new programs we added was based on we have teachers with broadcast journalism backgrounds. We're hoping now to expand our ability to cover this. And, this is anything that we could do to reach more people in the community, through transparency and by showcasing what's going on here, I think is good. And this allows us to do that in a very easy way.
If I may just throw it out there, there's a lot of programs that our children are participating in, FBLA, DECA, Model UN, where there are these videos that, that we could probably put in these channels.
Sure.
And be more inspiring to the younger generation to join this program. So it's just.
And I think even our community, our generation who may not have the children anymore,
Enjoys it.
Would
they
love to
love
see it.
watching it.
Yes,
They love
would
watching
love
it
to
live
see
when
it.
we're able to go, and they love watching what's going on in their town.
It's
They
very
really do.
exciting.
Yeah,
You're
the
able
old,
to
the old
get-
channel had hours and hours of just reading material and music playing,
So,
it didn't have actual video.
We had very limited, so it was very clunky. So we would queue up content and it would loop.
Right.
So,
So old fashioned.
yeah, and, we don't have TV producers that work for us, but new technology is going to eliminate some of those limitations.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, last item on the agenda is the Applegarth School Project update.
Yeah, so committee remembers that we're proceeding with a lot of work at Applegarth related to the ROD grant and also to the additional funding that the state provided, the additional $1 million in state aid. The approach that we took on this, you may recall, is that when we received the $1 million in additional state aid, recognizing that we are going to be doing the entire Applegarth school, meaning all of the roofs, the complete HVAC system and electrical upgrades, the $1 million we need to move on differently than we do the ROD grant in terms of encumbering that money. The 1936 roof is the most needy of the roofs, and the electrical service, bringing the new electrical feed in, is the most critical component of being able to do the HVAC work. You don't have the new electric service in, you can't put the new HVAC equipment in. So we set up to go out to bid using that $1 million for the 1936 roof, as well as the electric service. So we'll probably be going out to bid latter part of this month or early February for that. We'll be on for this coming summer. Some of you may recall, I think it was 2015, 16, we did the 1936 building at Barclay Brook School. The project went really well. So it's the same scope project here, we're very familiar with. And actually we'd love to get the same contractor to bid on it. They did a real nice job. And then the electric service, again, will be an independent project bid separately to bring in the new electric service that can then take over all the HVAC equipment. And then when the ROD grant funding comes through, that's when we go out for the HVAC work, which we're well into design on that, and we'll be ready to bid that, in the coming months once the ROD grant is finalized.
And the great news that we have to share, Gonzalo was there as well. We did get a finalized version of the shared services agreement from the township. So we met last week, myself, Gonzalo, Ms. Allen, Dr. Chanley, Mr. Gagliardi attended as well. We had the mayor there, township, council president, their business administrator, as well as their attorney that they brought as well. So we had to work out some of the wording and some of the logistics for it. But in the end, we do have a finalized share service agreement. It'll be in the confidential tomorrow, uploaded. There was some wording that had to be changed. Mr. Gagliardi got that from Alan. She put it in, got worked out this week. So it will come to us to vote on next week. And once our board votes on it and hopefully we approve it, it will go to the council then to approve on February 5th, I think their next meeting is. So again, it's an incredible collaboration between the school district, working with the township and local officials to really come together and understand that, you know, we are one community, the taxes are paid into one tax bill. And, you know, unfortunately, we had the referendum fail, but that doesn't mean that our facilities miraculously are fixed. We still are left with issues that we have there. Like Mr. Sheikh said, the 1936 building, the roof is the immediate need with the HVAC. So I'm thankful that Dr. Chanley and the administrative team wanted to present this to the township and bring it to them right after. This is something that occurred right after the referendum. We had a meeting with the county superintendent who gave us some
Suggestions and guidance of how to move forward.
exactly with the town. And I'm very happy and thankful that our township was open to our meetings that we've held. So I think it's
Just a great new year so far.
yes.
It just really is.
Ms. Oliver, I know you have.
And you know the question I have, we were talking about when you were walking here. Mr. Tate, would you please, just going through the attachments, it says partial, and you just explained we're using that, just the $1 million for this project. But looking at the diagrams, and I'm not, you know, architectural engineer, I'm an engineer, but not that. Seems to be sections of the roof that we are addressing, not the entire 1936 roof. Are we addressing the entire 1936?
We are, you're probably referring to, and it's hard to see in the small print on those, but it's sections of the wood cupola and all the trim work around the building.
Right.
So sections of that, we've identified percentages. Some of the wood is just rotted, needs to be cut out and replaced. We're not redoing all of the cornice work and everything. It is lead paint too, so we have to remediate that. That's part of the process. So you're seeing areas, we've actually gone up on the roof and identified, okay, you got a 10-foot section here, you got an 8-inch section here, et cetera. Those pieces will be cut out, new pieces fused in.
And so when we start the next project,
Mhm.
these areas will not be touched again, but the other old roof around it will be touched, like I'm.
So the
I'm not-
1936 building is pretty much standalone, and the HVAC work we do really won't impact that, other than from an HVAC perspective, we have to deal with the kitchen, the cooking hood down there. It's not, needs to be replaced, so you're gonna have a ductwork situation that will run up the building and at that roof, but it won't violate the roof warranty or anything. The other areas, the roofs, the 60, 79, and 83 though, they're gonna have a lot of work done with HVAC work, so coordinating the two of them, you don't wanna put a new roof on and then come and cut it to put HVAC penetrations through, or vice versa, so this works out nice that the 36 building is kind of standalone in that regard.
And these projects will have, this is gonna happen first, and then the rest of the Rodgren related project will happen, because two different
Yes.
timelines.
Yes, well, it'll be multiple timelines, so when the Rod grant monies come through, you could move quicker, or more quickly with the roofing projects on the 60, 79, and 83.
Okay.
The HVAC piece is a whole nother animal just because of the equipment involved, timeframes for deliveries. As you've seen with the projects across the street, we're now closing in on 17 months, almost a year and a half, we're waiting for the chiller and the rooftop HVAC units back there. So design, you did the HVAC work, and then you're kind of waiting for equipment. During that period, you can do some roofing and some other components electrically.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, adjourn.
Oh, just one quick question, something else. I'm sorry. The Rod grant. So is there opportunity for us to go out this year for an additional Rod grant? I don't know if that opens up yet, or with the state to propose like another one of our needs,
list?
like middle school chillers or.
They have not opened up.
They've not opened it. Okay.
The only hope is that many districts applied for these, and I think Robbinsville is the one you probably read about in the paper. So Robbinsville applied for hypothetically $12 million, and then realized they can't come up with their portion.
Right.
So have to return that to the state. So there are gonna be districts who are gonna be caught in that situation where money is gonna go back to the state. What the state decides to do with that, we have another application in. I applied for the new phone system that we put in, and that's a high tier project. So best case scenario, they say, hey, all these districts return the money. Next in line is Monroe's phone thing, and they return several $100,000 to us for that.
Oh, okay, perfect.
And we will take it.
Absolutely.
It's an exciting one.
Yes. Great.
So,
I have nothing else. Sorry.
No? Let's go.
you sure?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.